Yo, what is up, you guys? Welcome back for another Dre and Jay review. And today I'll be reviewing the new Tom and Jerry movie that just released on HBO Max. So Tom and Jerry, based off the cartoon characters created by William Hanna and Joseph Barbara, and it follows Tom and Jerry as they go into a hotel and cause problems like always with their crazy shenanigans, cat and mouse games. Get it there? But during the events that take place, you have Chloe Grace Moretz's character who, is trying to find a job. She ends up getting hired at this hotel, the same hotel that Tom and Jerry are, causing problems in. And you know, with all that going on, there is a wedding that takes place with two characters who we really don't care and don't give a shit about, but they try to force it down on us anyway. And yeah, I know I'm kind of sound like I don't like this movie, and somewhat I didn't enjoy it like I hoped. But yeah, just starting off, I mean, Tom and Jerry, I felt like they took a back seat in their own movie. Um, and that was one of my biggest fears going into it and it's one of my biggest fears actually when I think about the Godzilla versus Kong movie is that are the title characters going to take a back seat to the human cast? Because those are the ones that actually have to get paid. And for this movie, they sadly did. Tom and Jerry did. They took a back seat. Whenever they were on screen, it was great. It was hilarious. I liked seeing the characters. But, it focused too much on the humans and the story, and I really didn't care that much for the wedding and, everything going on. Um, it seemed really weird with the actors and how they interacted with a lot of the animated, characters, which I will give them credit as far as the animation because I think it's 2D. Like it's 2D, but it's 3D in a way. I don't know how to word or describe it, but I will say I also give them credit because of the fact I was curious going into the movie how they were going to have Tom and Jerry compared to all the other live action animals. Like I thought would they actually be Tom and Jerry like a live action mouse with Jerry's animated design. But they actually were very creative in the process and made every animal in the movie animated as well. So I just thought that was an interesting twist. It and how the humans interacted with those animated characters. It was very similar to Looney Tunes Back in Action. So when I think about this movie, I don't think of it as any. Oh my god, I don't think of it being better than Looney Tunes Back in Action, but I also don't think of it as being worse than Looney Tunes Back in Action. So that was one of my things with this movie. I just with Tom and Jerry, and especially the cartoon series, and what made it so great was that it was short. You had their 5-10 minute bits, and then the show would end, and they would have another segment. And it's kind of hard to do that a Tom and Jerry storyline because it's mostly their shenanigans. It's them, Tom and Jerry, chasing each other around. Or Tom chasing Jerry around and Jerry, getting Tom back. But it's hard to stretch it out within a whole movie. That's about an hour and a half long. So they try to throw, this human storyline and this wedding storyline and everything. And it just felt kind of boring and kind of bland. So those were kind of my biggest things with this movie. But I will say I liked seeing Tom and Jerry. I felt like the characters stayed true to their counterparts, their previous iterations on screen. And as far as the comedy, some of the jokes landed, some of the jokes were a little bit of cringiness to it. But I feel like all the funniest scenes were the ones we got in the trailer. And, once you see the movie, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I've seen this in the trailer. I already know what to expect. And it was funny in the trailer. It's still funny in the movie, but at the same time, none of the other jokes that you see in the movie land. So another thing that was weird with this movie was how the humans interacted with the animated characters. It just seems sometimes like they didn't know who they were talking to or touching or looking at. So it kind of just seemed a little weird there in that department. If I had to give Tom and Jerry a grade, I would probably give it. I'd probably give it a C minus, sort of in that C minus C range. I mean, I think it's a movie. I didn't really have high expectations, going into this movie and watching it, just because I just seeing the trailers. I didn't think it was going to be that great of a movie. So going in, my expectations were really low. But there were some funny moments, funny gags in the movie. But at the same time, with the whole plot, and it was just boring and kind of bland. It just didn't really stick with me. But I will say it's definitely a movie that if you're watching it with family, watching it with younger siblings or with your kids, I think it's one of those family movies that is very enjoyable for for the whole family. So it's definitely a movie that you can watch more than once, maybe a couple times. But that's just my opinion. But yeah. All right, guys, that's it for this review. What did you think of the recent Tom and Jerry movie on HBO Max? Let me know down below in the comment section your thoughts on the movie. If you like this review, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and tune in for more. All right, deuces.